If you're a man over 60 and you've stopped waking up firm, listen closely, because what I'm about to share could reignite something you assumed was lost forever. I'm not talking about pills, injections, or strange gadgets. What I'm offering is a simple yet deeply powerful 5-minute technique that uses nothing but your own hands. Thousands of older men have already used it to restore their erections, rebuild their self-belief, and reconnect with the masculine energy they thought was long gone. I'm Dr. Mark. For more than 30 years, I've helped men just like you men who feel like their bodies are quietly fading. And again, I've witnessed something remarkable when they discover one simple truth: how to touch their bodies with focus and intention. This isn't about pleasure, it's about revival, about returning blood, energy, and life to the parts of you that have gone quiet. What most men don't realize is there's a hidden switch inside your body buried beneath years of stress, shame, and silence, and it can be flipped back on. But you need to know where to touch, how to breathe, and how to listen. And once you do, your body starts to remember. In this video, I'll walk you step by step through a powerful self-massage technique that increases circulation, eases pelvic tension, stimulates nerves, and brings back the strength you thought was lost often within just a few days. And near the end, I'll reveal one small move you can try tonight that may completely change how you wake up tomorrow. So stick with me. And before we dive in, if you're ready to reclaim your body and confidence, hit that subscribe button and tap the bell so you don't miss a single tip crafted just for men over 60. If this resonates with you, drop a 1 in the comments. If it doesn't, type 0. Your response helps me make content that genuinely supports you. Now let's talk about something few men ever bring up, but nearly all silently carry. After 60, it's common to feel disconnected. From your body especially, the parts that once made you feel strong, confident, and fully alive. So why does that happen? And is there a way back? First, let's look at why you feel this disconnection after 60 and what your body might be trying to say. When men visit me in their 60s, they often speak in quiet, cautious tones. They mention fatigue, stiffness, restless sleep. But after a pause, once there's trust, many finally admit it. Doctor, I just don't feel like myself anymore. And I know exactly what that means. That it's not just about sex or erections. That's usually the first red flag. It runs deeper. It's the subtle, creeping sense that your body's stopped responding. That the fire once burning in your chest, gut, and manhood has started to fade. Asterisk, you start feeling less alive, less in tune, like your body's there, but you're not really in it anymore. That quiet disconnect between your brain and your pelvis, your breath and your sense of touch, it's far more common than you might think. But here's what I need you to understand first. This isn't failure. It's feedback. Your body isn't broken. It's trying to speak. When you stop waking up with firmness, when touch feels dull, when desire fades or vanishes, it doesn't mean your system is shutting down. It means it's asking you to pause, reconnect, and show care in a way you maybe never have before. Think about it. For decades, your body was a tool, a workhorse. You pushed through. You showed up. You handled stress, family, and duty. You gave to everyone else and asked nothing from yourself. But here's the truth nobody tells us, especially as men. Connection doesn't disappear with age. It disappears with neglect. And most men never learn to truly listen to their bodies. We were trained to ignore discomfort, push through pain, and measure manhood by performance, not presence. But here's the science. Your nervous system, your hormones, your blood flow, they're more delicate than you realize. Chronic stress creates tension. Tension blocks blood flow. Less blood means less sensation. And little by little, you lose the signals that once made you feel fully alive. That's why you may notice numbness in your lower abdomen, tightness in your hips, or a strange emotional distance from your own body. It's not because you're broken. It's because your body has been waiting for your attention, your care, your presence. One of my patients, Robert, 68, said it best. It feels like my body's been sitting in a dark room for years, and I'm finally turning the lights back on. That's the power of reconnection, not through pressure or performance, but through awareness, intention, and a few simple techniques I'll be sharing. The moment you stop treating your body like a machine and start treating it like a living, breathing system, something that responds to breath, touch, and emotion, you give it permission to return, to restore circulation, to awaken sensation, to come back to you. So, if you felt distant from your body, if you've stopped recognizing the man in the mirror, you're not alone. And more importantly, you're not stuck. This is reversible, but it doesn't start with a pill. And it doesn't start with pressure. It starts with listening. And the most powerful way to begin listening is through your own hands, which brings us to something most men never expect: what male wellness massage really is, and why it works better than almost anything you've tried before. Asterisk 2. What exactly is male wellness massage, and why does it work when nothing else does? When I first mention male wellness massage to my patients, their reactions are almost always the same. They pause. They raise an eyebrow. A few laugh nervously. Others ask, "Doc, is that even appropriate?" And honestly, I get it. For decades, we've been conditioned to link male touch with either performance or worse, shame. But the kind of massage I'm talking about, it's not sexual. It's not about pleasure the way you might assume. It's about healing. This is a restorative practice based on one simple truth: your body responds to your own touch when that touch is intentional. And for men over 60, this kind of focused, caring touch can be a true turning point. Because here's the deal: as circulation slows, hormones drop, and nerve signals start to fade, your body needs more than pills or devices. It needs to be reawakened from the inside out. Male wellness massage is the art of restoring blood flow, releasing tension in the pelvic floor, and reigniting nerve pathways that may have gone quiet for years. It's not complicated. You don't need fancy tools. You don't need special training. What you do need is care, presence, and a willingness to meet your body where it is, to say, in a wordless way, "I'm here. I haven't given up on you." When you gently place your hands over your lower belly or at the base of the pelvis, when you begin slow, rhythmic strokes along the shaft with calm, steady breath, you're doing far more than just touching tissue. You're telling your nervous system it's safe again. You're drawing oxygen-rich blood back to the vessels. That supports strong, lasting erections. You're turning down the volume on stress hormones that have quietly hijacked your system for years. And the response? It can be surprising. Many of my patients report that after just a few sessions, they feel more present, more aware. They notice warmth, tingling, even spontaneous erections they haven't had in years. One of them, Harold, 72, told me after his third evening of practice, he woke up with a calm clarity he hadn't felt in a decade. He said, "It was like someone hit the reset button on me." And that's the real point. This isn't about becoming someone new. It's about remembering who you've always been. It's about reconnecting the breath, the mind, the heart, and the pelvis, the four anchors of male vitality. And what makes this so powerful? You don't need a doctor's note. You don't need to ask permission. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to show up. Every session becomes a message to your body that says, "I still care. I'm still here. I haven't left." Because your masculinity hasn't disappeared. It's simply been waiting for you to return to it. And here's the part most men never hear. The science backs this up. Your nervous system's response to intentional touch, deep breathing, and focused presence is far more powerful than most medications. So now, let me show you what's actually happening under the surface and why this kind of mindful touch reawakens arousal in a way no pill ever can. 3. The science behind male touch. How your nervous system reawakens arousal. You begin touching your body with awareness. Especially as a man over 60, something remarkable happens. And it's not just physical, it's neurological. I've seen this transformation firsthand in exam rooms, video calls, and messages from men who once felt numb, disconnected, or defeated. And what surprised them most wasn't just how quickly their erections returned, it was how their entire sense of self came back online. Let me break down what's really going on under the surface. Your pelvic area, your penis, perineum, lower belly, is packed with one of the densest networks of nerves in the male body. The most critical of these? A nerve called the pudendal nerve, your main highway for sexual sensation. And like any road, if it's blocked, unused, or ignored for long enough, the signals begin to fade. What most men don't realize is that after 60 years of chronic stress, limited movement, pelvic tension, and emotional disconnection cause these nerves to quiet down. Not just go silent. They're not broken. They're just waiting for circulation, for breath, for your attention. When you engage in male wellness massage with focused breath and intention, you're not just touching skin, you're reactivating that entire neural network. The slow glide along the shaft, the gentle pressure around the perineum, the belly expanding with calm, steady breath. Each movement sends a message up the spinal cord that says, "Hey, brain, something important is happening down here." And your brain listens. This is the beauty of neuroplasticity, your brain's ability to form new connections even in your 60s, 70s, and beyond. By regularly stimulating the pudendal nerve, you're not just restoring sensation. You're retraining your brain to reconnect with your arousal system. Desire returns more easily. Control improves. Confidence rises not from fantasy or pressure, but from biology. One of my patients, Thomas, age 69, had been through a divorce and hadn't felt anything in over a year. I asked him to try just 2 weeks of simple, mindful massage, no goals, no expectations. By day 5, he messaged me, "Doc, I didn't realize how numb I'd become until I started feeling again." It wasn't even about erections at first, it was about reconnecting to his body. He described it as though the lights were slowly turning back on, and that's the real magic. Arousal isn't just about being stimulated. It's about feeling. It's about connection to your breath, to your body, to your inner self. And when that connection returns, so does your calm power, your quiet confidence, the deep knowing that your body still works and still wants to respond. Now that you understand how your nervous system responds to touch, breath, and awareness, let me show you something even more surprising. A hidden part of your body that stores more tension than you think, and releasing it might be the key to restoring stronger, longer-lasting erections. 4. The role of the pelvic floor, the hidden key to stronger erections. Most men over 60 have never even heard of their pelvic floor, let alone considered how much it might be impacting their performance. But if you're experiencing softness, quick release, or that frustrating lack of control, you need to understand what's going on beneath the surface, because this hidden network of muscles might be the root of the issue. The pelvic floor is a web of deep muscles that sits like a sling at the base of your pelvis. It supports key organs, your bladder, your prostate, your intestines, and yes, it wraps around the base of your penis. These muscles are involved in everything from urination to ejaculation, and they play a crucial role in maintaining firmness. and control. Asterisk, but here's the part most men are never told. When your pelvic floor becomes tight, weak, or out of balance, which often happens with age, stress, long hours of sitting, or even years of quiet shame, it begins to interfere with two crucial things: blood flow and nerve function. Right where you need them most. I had a patient, Charles, age 70, who came in feeling completely defeated. He said, "It's like my penis just stopped showing up for me." After just a few questions, I noticed something. He held constant tension. In his lower abdomen, his breathing was shallow, and his hips barely moved. These are classic signs of a locked-down pelvic floor. And here's the thing. Even if your arteries are clear and your hormones are in range, if the pelvic muscles are in a state of chronic contraction, you may still struggle to get aroused, stay hard, or even feel pleasure at all. This kind of deep internal tension is sneaky. It builds slowly over decades, like a silent armor forged from stress. We all know we carry tension in our jaws or shoulders. But for many men, we're also unconsciously clenching the pelvis bracing for impact, day after day, without even realizing it. And over time, that bracing restricts circulation, stiffens tissues, and weakens the tone of the very muscles responsible for full, lasting erections. Now here's the good news. The pelvic floor responds beautifully to attention. With just a few targeted massage techniques focused on areas like the lower belly, inner thighs, and especially the perineum, you can start softening the grip these muscles have had for years. As they release, blood flow improves, nerve signals travel more freely, and most importantly, your body begins to trust itself again. Even something as simple as slow, deep belly breathing tells the pelvic floor, you're safe, you can let go. That's why combining mindful breath with intentional touch works so powerfully. It's not just physical. It's a signal to your nervous system. A message that says, you don't have to brace anymore. Once Charles learned how to gently release his pelvic floor, just a few minutes a day, everything shifted. Not only did his erections improve, he felt more grounded, more relaxed, more himself. I'll never forget what he told me. He looked me straight in the eye and said, "It's not just physical. I feel open again." And that's the shift we're really aiming for. Not just performance, but presence. Now that you understand the hidden power of the pelvic floor, it's time for the part you've been waiting for. In the next section, I'll walk you through 3 proven massage techniques that boost blood flow, reawaken sensation, and help you reclaim control in a way that feels real, natural, and deeply powerful. Let's get to it. 5. Step by step. 3 massage techniques that restore blood flow and masculine control for senior wellness. Now that you understand how the pelvic floor, circulation, and nerves all work together to influence masculine vitality, it's time to put that knowledge into practice. What I'm about to show you doesn't require fancy tools or years of experience, just something most men were never taught. Focused, consistent self-care, even 5 to 10 minutes of gentle, intentional touch can begin to restore control, sensation, and confidence. Let's begin with one of the simplest yet most powerful techniques, the ring glide. Using your thumb and index finger, create a loose ring around the base of the penis. Slowly and gently glide that ring forward toward the tip. No rush. Use a natural oil, coconut or almond works great to keep the movement smooth. Now breathe deeply as you go. This isn't about stimulation. It's about restoring blood flow, waking up dormant nerves, and reconnecting with your own body. For many men, this becomes the first time in years they actually feel themselves coming back online. Technique number A, the perineal pulse. The perineum, that soft area between the scrotum and the anus, is often ignored, but it's rich in nerve endings and located just beneath the prostate and pelvic floor. Using 2 fingers, gently apply light circular motions or soft pulses to this area. Close your eyes. Stay present. Breathe into the sensation. This simple act relaxes deep pelvic tension, soothes the nervous system, and supports prostate function, all while helping you reconnect with your inner strength. Technique number 3, the breath. Stroke now. Place one hand over your lower abdomen or groin area. As you inhale, gently stroke upward. As you exhale, stroke downward, matching the rhythm of your breath. This technique may seem subtle, but it retrains your body to respond with calm awareness, not anxious tension. It helps lower cortisol, increase nitric oxide, and build those lost pathways of control and arousal back into your system. These 3 techniques may seem simple, and yes, they are. But when practiced regularly, they're deeply powerful. I've watched men who felt completely disconnected from their bodies and relationships come back to life. One patient, Leonard, age 73, told me, "Doc, I didn't just feel my body. Wake up, I felt like my soul came back online." That might sound dramatic, but it's real. When blood starts flowing again, when nerves wake up, when you treat yourself with care instead of criticism, something shifts, and that shift isn't just physical. It affects your confidence, your energy, even the way you show up in the world. Now, maybe you're thinking, okay, but can this really work for me? That's a fair question. And to answer it, I want to introduce you to someone who once asked the exact same thing. In the next section, you'll hear the story of Frank, a 71-year-old man who believed it was too late for him until just 7 days of this practice changed everything, including his relationship. Stick with me. His story might feel a lot like yours. There was a time when Frank felt solid, strong, confident, even playful. But when he walked into my office, he looked like a man who'd slowly slipped away from himself. He said, "I haven't had a strong erection in over a year. Intimacy with my wife? Gone. Most mornings I don't even look in the mirror anymore. It's like I've disappeared inside my own skin." But what struck me most about Frank wasn't the symptoms. It was his willingness to try something different. I introduced him to a wellness-based approach. No pills, no pressure. Just 5 to 10 minutes a night of focused, intentional touch. A space to reconnect. At first, like most men, he raised an eyebrow. But then he said something powerful. "If this helps me feel like myself again, I'm in." So Frank started with 3 simple techniques: the ring glide, the perineal pulse, and the breathstroke. He didn't chase results. He didn't overthink it. He just showed up for himself every night. No distractions, no expectations. Just quiet, conscious touch. By day 3, he noticed a shift. Not a full erection, but warmth, tingling, even sensitivity. Feelings he hadn't experienced in years. By day 5, he woke up with a partial erection and smiled at himself in the mirror. For the first time in a year. By day 7, something even deeper happened. He had a real conversation with his wife. Honest, open, connected. There was no pressure, no awkwardness, just presence. A few nights later, they shared a moment of true physical closeness. Not performance, connection. When Frank came in for his follow-up, he looked like a different man. His posture had changed. His voice was grounded. His eyes had that spark again. "Doc," he said, "I didn't need a new body. I just needed to remember I still had one. That's why I do this work. Because when a man reclaims his body on his terms, it changes everything, not just in the bedroom, but in how he walks through the world, in his confidence, his presence, his joy. And if you're wondering, could that happen for me? I get it. I do. That's why in the next part, I'll walk you through exactly what to expect, physically and emotionally, from day 1 to day 7 of this journey. What actually happens when a man starts to come home to himself? Let's take that next step. Together. Asterisk 7. What happens after just 7 days? One of the most common questions I get from men is, Doc, how soon will I feel something? Fair question. When you've spent years feeling disconnected, maybe even defeated, it's normal to wonder if real change is even possible, let alone in a week. But here's the truth. Your body is more responsive than you think. They worked with hundreds of men over 60, and what I've seen, again and again, is that the shift doesn't take months. It often starts within days. Me walk you through it. Day 1 or 2. Most men report something subtle, not fireworks, but a flicker, a gentle warmth in the groin, a tingling in the belly, or maybe just the feeling of their own hands connecting with a part of the body they've ignored for years. That spark of awareness, that's the beginning of the rewiring. Day 3 or 4, blood flow improves. Those blood vessels that were dormant, constricted by years of stress, begin to open. Some men sleep better. Others feel calmer, more grounded. One guy told me, Doc, I caught myself humming while making coffee. I haven't done that in years. Little signs of life begin to return, quiet, but powerful. By day 5 or 6, the physical shifts become clearer. Erections may return, especially in the morning. Sensitivity increases. The body feels safe again, so it starts releasing years of hidden tension. And the mind follows. Men feel more in control, not just physically, but emotionally too. Less anxious, more clear-headed. And then comes day 7. Something just clicks. For some, it's their first full erection in months. For others, it's something deeper. Like one patient told me, Doc, it wasn't just that I could get hard. It was that, for the first time, I didn't wake up dreading the day. I actually felt proud of myself. That's the shift. Because this isn't just about blood flow. It's about identity, confidence, energy, hope. You stand taller. Your voice changes. You walk into a room and feel like you're there again. And listen, this doesn't require perfection. Just consistency. 5 to 10 minutes a night. That's it. Not as a chore, but as a gift to your body, to your spirit. Each time you show up, your body listens. Not magic. Biology finally allowed to breathe again. And now that you've seen what's possible in just 7 days. 8. Your 5-minute action plan for tonight, if you're still watching. That tells me something. You're not just curious. You're ready. And that says more about you than any number on a chart ever could. You're a man reclaiming something real. Not for performance. Not for ego. But for presence. So tonight, we make it real. 5 minutes. A quiet space. And a few simple movements that could change how you feel tomorrow morning. Let's walk through them together. Asterisk, let's talk about something simple you can do tonight. Just 5 minutes to start reconnecting with your body. And with the parts of yourself that may have gone quiet for far too long. Start by finding a quiet space. No need for candles or spa music, unless that's your thing. What matters most is that it feels safe, undemanding. Yours. Turn off your phone. Dim the lights. Sit or lie down in a position that feels easy and open. This moment belongs to you. Asterisk, before you even begin, place one hand on your chest, the other on your lower belly. Now take 3 slow, deep breaths. Inhale through your nose, count to 4. Hold for 4. Exhale through your mouth, count to 6. As you breathe, whisper to yourself, I'm still here. I still deserve care. This isn't just a mantra. It's a message to your nervous system. It's safe to soften. You're allowed to feel again. Asterisk now, with warm, clean hands and a touch of natural oil. Begin with the ring glide. Make a loose ring with your thumb and forefinger at the base of the penis. Gently glide toward the tip slowly, without pressure or urgency. Repeat this for 1 to 2 minutes. This isn't about performance. It's about RECONNECTION. Now move your focus to the perineum area between your scrotum and anus. Using 2 fingers, apply soft, circular motions. No pressure, just presence. This helps release tension in the pelvic floor and reawaken nerves that may have gone quiet. Next, place one hand flat over your lower belly. As you inhale, stroke gently upward. As you exhale, stroke downward. Let your breath guide your hand. Again, this isn't about arousal. It's about awakening. It's about trust between you and your body. Asterisk when you're done, don't rush. Stay still. Breathe. Be with yourself. If you feel moved to, say something kind out loud. I showed up. I'm coming back to life. I'm still a man, and I'm not done yet. I've had men tell me this 5-minute ritual became the most powerful moment of their day. Not because it fixed everything overnight, but because it reminded them what's possible when they stop waiting for someone else to fix them and start listening to their own body again. Asterisk. Now that you know exactly what to do tonight, there's just one last thing I want to leave you with. It's not a technique, not a tool. It's a truth, and it may be the most important one you hear today. Asterisk, if you've made it this far, thank you. Not just for listening, but for showing up. That matters more than you know, because here's the truth. Most men over 60 are never taught how to reconnect with their bodies. They're handed pills, told to accept decline, quietly brushed aside. But you're different. You took a step that most never will. That step begins with one belief. Your body still remembers how to feel strong, confident, and alive. It just needs you. You've learned the real reason men disconnect with age, the silence between brain and body. You've seen how male wellness massage isn't indulgence, it's reclamation. You've discovered how your nervous system can relearn arousal. How your pelvic floor is the secret key to energy and vitality. And how just 3 simple techniques can begin to restore blood flow, sensitivity, and self-respect. You heard Frank's story. You saw what changed in just 7 days. And you now hold a ritual that could change everything. But this isn't just about routines. It's about returning to yourself. So tonight, when you sit in stillness and place your hands on your body, not to judge it or fix it, but to feel it. Remember this. You're not too old. You're not too late. You're not broken. You're a man with fire still in his bones. And now, you know how to wake it up. The next move is yours.